I'm gonna wait a little bit before I do the questions that were asked. Sal did a butt ton of them. Thank you, hello, Sal. Anon and Spin for asking some questions. Yeah, I didn't look at any of the questions until today, so there's that. Let me move my mic closer. There. I just woke up. How are my expressions gonna be today? We're gonna find out, guys. Holy shit. Am I gonna be just super expression? We're gonna be super expression. We're not gonna worry about it. Nope. Nope, nope, no. Okay. I'm just not gonna worry about that shit right now. I'm still waking up. Literally. Been struggling to wake up. For 2 hours. Yeah. Wanted to do the stream about 2 hours ago. That didn't happen. Okay, I've got caffeine. I've had maybe 3.5 or 4 hours of sleep. Nobody judge. Yes, I'm happy. And no, it is not coffee. Hello, Selene, how are you? Welcome. I'm just waiting a little bit before I start the Q&A, because some people have asked some questions in the server. You're more than welcome to ask questions as well. I will, answer all questions. If for some reason there is a question that I refuse to answer, I will just tell you to fuck yourself. That's all I can say about that one. Yeah. Oof. Excuse me, I just burped. Hello, Sal. I'm just, waiting a few extra minutes before I start the question and answer part of the whole video, because, shit. I had 3.5, 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired. Don't worry, I'll wake up. I've got caffeine. I'll be in a caffeine high soon. Shh. We don't question it. Don't question why I was still awake at fucking 7:30 my time. It's 12 p.m. my time now. Just nobody question this. Don't question it. Don't be mean. I just said don't question it. Because I said not to. Actually, I have a mini PSA that I also need to get through as well later on in this video. So yeah. I'll do that later. And there's a good reason for that. Thank you. I think Selene already knows why I'm going to do this PSA. It's actually one of the reasons why I was still up real early this morning. I'm going to be making a full YouTube video on it. So it's probably going to be in parts. I've actually thought about it, and I've decided to make that video into parts because there's a lot of stuff to go over, and I don't want to do an hour-and-a-half long video explaining all of my thoughts about the issues that are about to occur. So yeah, I'm just not doing that. That's not a thing. I'm just gonna make it into maybe a 2 or 3 part video. We're gonna see how long this ends up being. I don't want it to be like more than 10 minutes long. Yeah, you did, but it kind of it's not a huge like it's not something that a lot of people know yet. It's mostly people who make models that know. Like I said, it's only people who make models that know the issues. And so yeah, it's something that I'm gonna have to talk about later. Anyways, I will start the Q&A right now. What inspired you to start VTubing? Let's see. Becoming a VTuber. Well, that was... I guess the idea of becoming a VTuber didn't come until like a month after I started streaming. And it was when I found a 2D mermaid VTuber. Yes, I'm not shitting you. And she was doing art streams, and I thought that was really cool. And that kind of gave me the idea to, you know, use VTubing as like my medium. Because I didn't really want to, you know, show my face and do art. In one part, it's because it's not that I didn't like I was nervous about showing my face. It was just that, one, the device that I was using wasn't really the best setup for me to really use my own face. And two, I didn't really care to show my face to begin with because I just planned to do art. So I had kind of come across VTubing, and I thought, you know, this is even better than showing my face. So why not use art to showcase my art? And that's kind of how it ended up happening. So, and that's kind of how the inspiration came about, funny enough. So, you know, it wasn't anything like huge or revolutionary, or because I just, you know, was afraid people would see my face. It was just that I wanted a medium to have a face without actually needing a face. Alright. What is your favorite video game? Honestly, I hate to say it, but it can sometimes change a little bit. If it's video game series, I really, really enjoyed the Dragon Age series, but as a game alone, I really like Elder Scrolls Skyrim. And honestly, Skyrim's probably like my comfort game. I have completed that game several times, every side quest, every mission, everything. I know enough of, I know the side quests I like to do to be able to do and survive certain ways in the game. So. Oh my god, fucking Farkas. I have actually gone through and skipped the entire companion quest line several times just because of Farkas. Oh my god. Hate him. Hate him, hate him, hate him. His AI sucks. Like, you fucking sneak, and then enemies attack you, and he doesn't fucking understand to stand up and attack the enemies 90% of the time. He literally gets his ass handed to him. And then, like, you can stand up and stop sneaking, and he'll still let the enemies attack him. It is terrible. His AI is absolutely terrible for that. So I have actually completely skipped the companion quest lines. In part because of that, and two, you don't really need the companion quest lines. I don't really care for the weapon that comes from the companions. If I do the companion quest line, it's simply for levels and to do a completion of the game as a whole. Because I'm kind of completionist when it comes down to like some of my playthroughs. It depends on what I'm doing or what my mood is. But I'll since I've completed the game at least once, I feel comfortable to be able to skip the companion quest line, to skip over Farkas and his bullshittery. Ever had any nicknames? Excuse me? Yes. I have a few nicknames, some of you may know. So like, I go by Dean, Anne, Nez, Zan, those are the names that I go by. 3 pet peeves. Oh my god, I'm gonna try and put these in order for you guys, okay? So many hearts! So my first pet peeve is one that I grew up with, and that is biting nails. Oh my god. Biting your nails is the most disgusting thing, and it drives me insane. I cannot sit there and watch someone bite their nails. I can't even look. Like, it just absolutely drives me completely nuts. It's bad. Like, I see somebody biting their nails and it's like, stop it! Stop! It's like, I'll like jump across a table just to try and get them to stop biting their nails. It's bad. Another pet peeve, which is really up there, and that is creasing. It bugs me. That's another one that really bugs me. I don't like to go on rants about it, so I'm not gonna go into that one. As for 3, cleaning. I hate cleaning. But more specifically, I hate dishes. Doing dishes make me mad. Yes, doing the dishes makes me mad. Like, at least if, like, I'm going and picking up, I can move around the entire area. But for some reason, staying in one spot, just cleaning, makes me mad. Why? Don't fucking know. But it does. So, dishes actually drives me completely insane. Cereal or milk first? Cereal first, you heathens! Cereal. It is always cereal first because you don't know how much milk to put in until you put your cereal in. So, nah. No. You heathen. You heathens! Favorite movie would have to be Mirror Mask. Love the movie. It is amazing. No, you both are heathens! So if you guys have never watched, if you both have never watched, Mirror Mask, it's a really art-based movie. So I'll give you the rundown because think of it as the 21st century version of The Wizard of Oz, except super stylized. So the main character, Helena, she's in the circus with both her parents who run the circus, and she's an artist. I love her art style. It is amazing. And so she ends up in the world of her creations. And she has to pretty much go through an entire storyline within her creation that she didn't know existed, and she's got to learn about. Because she draws everything, but she didn't really give it a story, so it kind of took on a life of its own. And from there, she has to rescue her mother, who has fallen ill, and which is by waking the White Queen, getting home, and, you know, making almost like a wish with the Mirror Mask. And it's a whole journey, and, you know, instead of, you know, the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion, she has Valentine. He is not very bright. He's pretty much all three characters put into one. Hello, my darling daughter. Hello, Spin. How are you guys doing? So Valentine is actually all three of the characters kind of put into one. So he's not the brightest light bulb. He's extremely cowardly. He betrays Helena, and he actually does show a little bit of courage in attempting to break her out. Oh, hearts. Happy Halloween, everyone. I actually forgot to say that. I'm actually just going through the Q&A right now. I just explained my favorite movie, which is called Mirror Mask. Amazing movie. Highly recommend. It's like a 2.5 hour movie, I think. So it's a little long. Movie I dislike. Oh, it was this movie that I watched so long ago. I don't even remember the name of it, but it was absolutely terrible. It was a horror movie, okay, guys? It was the most cheesy, terrible horror movie, and what was it? Like, The Deep Dark or something stupid like that? It was literally this shark movie, and this shark was in this fucking cave. And which movie? I'm thinking like the most terrible movie I've ever seen that I will never watch again. No, this one's worse than Twilight. Absolutely worse. No, Twilight is a tiny bit better than this. Holy shit. Yeah, no, well, some people would consider 2.5 to 3 hours to be really long for a movie, so. But, yeah, I think it was called The Deep Dark or something like that. I don't remember if that's the actual name, but it's an absolute terrible movie. If I had to pick between the Twilight series and that movie, I would rather watch the Twilight series again. That is terrible, but is a tiny bit better than whatever the fuck it was that I watched. Like, just to give you a perspective of how terrible that movie was. Like, I hate Twilight, but I like it just enough more to where I'd rather watch Twilight again before I watch that movie. Just saying. Is today October 31st? Sal, we both know it is. And not only that, but today is my avatar's birthday. So, yeah, today is my avatar's birthday. I actually couldn't remember the day exactly that I created my avatar, you know, full disclosure. So I picked a day that I knew I would easily remember. So that's how that went about. I honestly could not remember the exact day that I created my avatar. Full disclosure. So I picked a day. And this was the day I picked because I love Halloween that much. And I felt it really fit my avatar. Just, you know, I just felt it fit. So. Oh, this is a serious one? Okay. Do you collect anything? Yes, I do. This might be a little creepy for some people. So I have a normal collecting thing, and I have a really abnormal collecting thing. I am slowly designing my art space to essentially look like a vintage doctor's office, and I collect vintage and antique medical equipment and stuff like that. So I have, in fact, a vintage medical jar meant for cleaning instruments, and it holds my paintbrushes. Some people would find it really creepy. I actually really love... Yeah, I really love having stuff like that. Honestly, those bone saws look real cool, but honestly, back then, nah. Anything before, like, you know, penicillin and stuff. Oh, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, it came from my hometown. I grew up in that town, and, like, not only did it come from that town, but it came from an asylum. I was, like, pumped. I was like, oh my god, it came from my hometown's asylum. It was like, yes, I like had a picture of it. I set it into my Discord, you know, all of that. Oh my god, it was amazing. I have it. It's holding all my paint, all my paintbrushes. Yes. Also, you want to make sure that, you know, you got the drugs to knock you out too, because you don't want to be awake if you gotta have shit like amputated. So I don't remember when they discovered, you know, all the medications that, you know, could knock you out, but I definitely wouldn't want to be awake for an amputation. That shit be scary too. Just saying. So that is my slightly abnormal collecting. As for the things that I collect that's a little bit normal, I collect vintage and antique cameras. So I do collect vintage and antique cameras, but I have a very specific style of camera that I like. So you know the cameras that have like the accordion pull out type style? I really love the way that those look. They're a little more expensive, but they're worth it. They look beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The way they're crafted and everything. So I love those. Actually, funny enough, my grandfather got me into collecting cameras. He used to do flea markets. So he sent me all of his cameras when he stopped doing flea markets, when I started doing photography. And I still have every single one of the cameras he gave me. So one day I want to display them all. So yeah, that is something I do. I do want to do, and I would love to, you know, have my dream medical case. Actually, I will post this image into my Discord server for you all to see. My dream medical case is, oh my god, it's so gorgeous. I love it. Hold on, I gotta find it. My dream medical case is, yeah, just give me a minute. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's got like such thick glass. It is amazingly gorgeous. Where is it? No, that is not it. It's a screenshot, I could have sworn. Did I move it? I may have moved it. Move it over here. If I did, it should be up towards the top. I might be blind, guys. Might be a tad blind. We're gonna see. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it real quick for all of you. Because honestly, it is so freaking gorgeous. It is my dream medical case. It is beautiful. Hold on, let me type in antique medical case. So, my dream antique medical case. Oh, I found a picture of it. Hold on, I'm send it to you. Now, this is one of those things that you gotta save up for a long fucking time, because they want buco bucks for it. So it's gonna be a long save before I can potentially get this. Alright, I tossed it in the carnival. So if you guys want to see it, go to my Discord, react if you haven't done that, if you've never joined, and you can see my dream medical case. I so badly get that. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Like, the glass is so thick. It's so nice looking. I love it. Absolutely love. It's a gorgeous piece. Yeah, so that is my dream piece to get, honestly. So I want to get that because it's a shelf. I can, you know, put stuff on it, and it looks beautiful. So yeah, I do collect stuff. Did you know Sal wears glasses? Sal. We'd have a problem if I didn't know you wore glasses after knowing you for 3 years. So, especially since one of your redeems is take off your glasses for X amount of time. You know, just saying, be a little bit of a problem. You like to mention your glasses a lot. Since you've said sushi is one of your favorites, what's your favorite roll? So my favorite roll is called the Snow Mountain Roll. And so I saw that! So what they do is they cook the salmon, and they roll it up into the roll, and they put crab meat on top. Oh, so good. And then they put like this special like sweet soy sauce drizzled over the top. So good. Is seafood a yes or no for you? I love seafood. It is so good. Seafood is definitely a yes. Favorite genre in movies? It really depends on my mood. Recently, I haven't really watched any movies. I just not in the mood to watch movies, really. So I'd have to say, it really depends, because I'll watch horror movies all year round. Like, I don't feel obligated to watch horror movies only during the month of October. I will watch horror movies whenever the fuck I so please. So if it strikes me, I'll watch a horror movie in, like, say, April. Or, like, a Halloween horror movie, specifically, in April. I'll watch rom-coms. I don't really have a favorite. So it really depends. It also depends on the movie too, so. Anything that has caught your interest as of late? Yeah, it does. It really depends on my mood. Anything that has caught your interest as of late, examples, games, shows, movies, etc. Honestly, I'd have to say, I now am really motivated to want to do more similar art that I made for Scout. You know, nothing wrong with that. I watch a lot of YouTube and Twitch as well, and this is in part because, you know, I'm at my PC a lot, so. Oh yeah, no, your icon kind of inspired me to want to make more of them. You know, just full disclaimer. So, like, that is what's caught my interest as of late. Like, I really want to make more of those. I'm also making... You know, I have heard a lot of things about Tron Legacy. NFTs? What's NFTs? Sorry, I gotta ask because I don't know what that stands for. What was I saying? Guys, I'm pulling a blank. I think it's from my lack of sleep. Oh, I was talking about the icon. But not only do I want to, like, do more things with that icon, I've actually been starting to make, very slowly, a kind of like a build your own chibi live 2D avatar. And I'm trying to make it super cheap so that, you know, if for people people who want to be VTubers who, you know, are just starting out, like, I've already created one base, and it's a light skin base, and that is perfect. It's like $2. Like, I'm just saying, it costs $2, and it's got nothing but the body, the head, you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna make different eyes. I'm probably gonna start with one base and then move on to the others. And I'm gonna, you know, add eyes, you know, front, like the fringe, side fringe, stuff like that. That's really interesting. I've actually never heard of that until today. I'm gonna have to look into that. Thank you for telling me, but I don't think I have any NFTs. Because I don't really do any cryptocurrency type stuff. if I'm understanding correctly. But regardless, is that as I was saying, is I'm starting to make really cheap things for people who want to get into VTubing and particularly want to have a live 2D model, because live 2D models are probably the most expensive models that are out there right now. So live 2D models, Blender made 3D models, those are the most expensive models that you can usually find. So, you know, I want to give you guys, like, I want to give people something a little cheaper, like a slightly cheaper option that is there. And I feel like giving bases will allow people to kind of mix and match a little bit. And if they can't rig it, rigging isn't too horribly difficult. Like, it's more tedious than anything. So, rigging is a very tedious process, but you can find little tricks to make things much faster. I actually recently found out a little trick that makes the skinning process significantly faster and easier. At this rate, I'm probably going to be making tutorial videos on, you know, different parts of, you know, live 2D and how to do certain things, because I struggled with it real bad, and I want to make sure that other people don't struggle as much as I did, where they went through 6 models to attempt to figure out one model. Oh my god, my brain was melting. So yeah, probably at the 6-month mark is when I'll probably be making tutorials for that. I've only been doing live 2D models for a couple months. What's something you could talk about all day? Things that I can talk about all day easily are things that I really, really enjoy, which are, you know, art, or things that I really, really hate. And one of the things that I'm a little salty about, kind of disappointed with, and concerned with is actually something that I'm going to be doing a PSA. Actually, I can slide the PSA in right here. So, VTube Studio came out with its official release early this morning, late last night, depending on your time zone. And I checked it out, and my first concern is, because the way they did it, I'm now concerned that anyone who is looking to commission a VRoid artist is going to be scammed. And you're going to be scammed out of between $100 to a couple $100, and it's going to take the scammer less than 10 minutes to make a model. I'm not shitting you guys. This is terrible. My first initial reaction upon opening the new official release program was, holy shit, I'm looking at anime sims. I'm not kidding you. Like, I can show you guys the program. It's actually something that is concerning me. Like, it really does concern me. And I'll show you guys why. I plan to make an official video about this just because of how concerning it is, and I will explain more about it in the video. So, I did give the program a try. So I tried to give it the most fair try I possibly could. Going into it, you know, I left it after, you know, being really salty about it. Came back, was still pretty salty, and I still feel salty. Like, there's no way that I can remove the salt from this. And my main reason for this is because of how easy they've made it for people to scam people. And I will show you. If it loads up. Are you not gonna load up? Okay. we're not gonna load up, guys. We're just gonna go and do this. So this is already a first change. Originally, you started off with blue hair on both. So we're gonna, men got gypped again. So all men got gypped once again. I'm sorry, guys. You were gypped once again. Oh, when I said, like, I was salty to start with, it was absolutely terrible. So this is what your model starts with. So, and look, you didn't have these presets originally. So we've got these face presets. So the salt level has gone down a bit, but I'm going to go into detail. Like, honestly, these are all different textures that some artists did and like they spent time on, and you know, it's and they gave it for free. And unfortunately, this is super easy for a scammer to take and sell. They have pretty much given the scammer full reins on this program. Like, look at this. I can now make some bright ass purple eyes. Like, I can, you know, change the highlights. I want the highlights to look different. Bam! We've got ourselves some different highlights. I want to change the sclera. I can change the fucking sclera. You know, it's really cool, and I think it's much easier for new people to come in and, you know, work with this. I love it for new people who want to make their own models. What I'm salty about is they've made it super easy for someone to scam a unsuspecting person. Like, not everyone's going to download this program to, like, look at it. Hate to say it, but they've now forced you to pretty much download this program so that you now have to make sure that you're not getting scammed. Really and truly, you now have to download this program before hiring a Vroid artist. Like, they've got a lot of nice things. There's some things in here. Yeah, so this is my PSA, and I'm showing you guys this right now. It is stupid simple to, like, do this. Like, look, we've already got blush. Like, you want to change the skin tone? Let's make her red. We're gonna make her fucking red, guys. Look at this. This is, you don't even have to work. This takes me it takes you 10 minutes. You want to, you know, give them bags, you want to give them paint, you can do everything. You can even go in here. I don't know if the teeth are exportable or not. You have to make your own horns still, but pretty much, like, but yeah, no, it could be an Oni, but even, like, look at the hair. You can just pick a hair. Like, you can pick a whole hair, or you can just, you know, change the fringe, or you can just change the back. You want a fucking ponytail? Girl, I got you. We got a ponytail. You don't like this hair color? That's fine. I gotcha. Look at this. You want bright ass purple hair? Look at that. We gotcha. It's all done. And it doesn't look like the old Vroid textures either. So this is the new Vroid textures, and I have to do a small PSA on this because, you know, it's just too easy for scammers now to take your money. I personally wish Vroid did it so, like, some of the textures for these presets were bundle packages. I think that, you know, they should give out some free ones to and make people pay for some of these presets just so they can lessen the amount of scammers. Straight up, the number of people that can now scam you has increased because, like, by the way, guys get gypped. They don't get any preset change for this. You got girl and girl. Like, literally, that is all you get for dudes, too. Like, that I'm a little salty about. Guys got super gypped. You want to be a sailor girl? You know, you got your sailor uniform. Yeah, you've got your sailor uniform. You want to have some freaking different shoes? Bam, we got ourselves some different shoes. Accessories, guys, we now have glasses. I think this is pretty cool. You can do glasses. You can do freaking cat or rabbit ears. I was actually playing with the cat ears. You can totally turn the cat ears into fox ears. Like, you can change things and change the shape of the ears. So honestly, this is kind of cool. I'm kind of happy with, you know, this type of thing here. let's make it kind of purplish. There we go. Kind of matches the hair. You want no ears, you can totally do that. There's actually a slider for no ears now. One of the things that I was super excited about was being able to layer clothes. And I haven't played around with this yet, but supposedly you can now layer clothes. I don't know if you can officially or not, but you know, supposedly you can layer clothes. Don't know about that. I kind of think the layering is pretty limited. I think you gotta like do something like this and then pick something, I don't know, kind of like something simple. Oh, we got no pants now. All right. Hello and welcome. But yeah, no, this is kind of my PSA, guys, about what could potentially happen with this program now that they've come out with this. It is pretty much you're doing The Sims for Vroid, and honestly, Vroid devs, can you give the artists like a blank canvas where we can just make our own presets? Because honestly, I would rather make my own presets here than have yours. Sorry. Give me my own ability to create presets over here. Just give me a blank. Like, honestly, I think this is super clean. I think they did a decent job with the setup. I like some aspects of it. I think it's definitely meant for people who don't know what they're doing. And, you know, that's what it is. So I think it's good for people who are not artists. Unfortunately, yeah. I agree. I'm definitely going to be using the older editor, and I'm probably going to slowly phase out Vroid from my stuff because of the update. I'm really salty about how easy they made it for scammers now to scam people. Like, that's my PSA, guys. Yes, yes. Yes. Yes, Blender is something that's gonna be happening. I wanted to learn Blender so that I could do add-ons for Vroid avatars, and I guess I'll still do that. It'll be, you know, much cheaper if I use the old editor for Vroid. But I will not be using the new editor. I plan to make a couple of videos, post them on YouTube, and explain in depth my concerns, my thoughts, and what I wish they had done. It'll be like a video compilation of sorts. So I'll only delete the new Vroid editor once I finish all those videos. But I am disappointed and salty. I think it's great for scammers. I think it's great for new people who are not artistic and they want to have their own model. So, you know, I think it has its pros and its cons. Yes, not only that, but some people will do that by just straight up taking free stuff off a booth, and I get that you can't really stop that, but you know, you could at least make them work for it. Which is why I think if they had done some of the presets as bundles that you purchased for like $5, it would help with, you know, lessening the number of scammers. Well, thank you for subbing on YouTube. So yeah, that's my PSA. I'm pretty salty about the new Vroid. Pretty disappointed. I feel like they could have done so much more with it. I agree. But anyways, back to the Q&A. Is there anything you'd want to do in the future? Well, yes. And actually, this ties into why I became a streamer. And what my goal as a streamer has been is to find a way to help small streamers grow, because I've noticed that it's very difficult for small streamers to, in fact, you know, grow. This is based upon, like, I knew that going into streaming, I was going to grow very slowly. I'm quite happy that I've grown at the pace that I have. Honestly, have no complaints. But I do still want to help small streamers gain exposure in a way so that they can grow at a decent pace, because there are some small streamers that grow slower than I do. So that was my goal to start with. That is still my goal in the future. And so yeah, that is what I want to do in the future, just as much as I want to do now. I honestly, you know, I don't see a lot of content creators, you know, going and specifically, you know, doing the exposure the way that I've tried doing it. So I try to make YouTube videos every so often by going in and, you know, finding streamers and, you know, interacting with them. And, you know, they're small. Most of them are new. And the reason why I, you know, do it this way through mostly YouTube videos is because I feel like it's a little less intrusive. It's a little intrusive, but it's a little less intrusive. It, you know, kind of gives people an idea to expect from, like, streamer A, B, or C. And I try to, you know, find people with low view counts and low follow counts. So yeah, that's usually what I do with those videos. And I know I've only released one of them, and it was a few months back. I did start another one, but I actually unfortunately lost the footage for that one. So I don't know what happened to it. Like, it's just lost in the abyss of all of my stuff. So I've got to redo that one. I've kind of been dragging my feet because I kind of feel bad, you know, to be honest. What would be the funniest or worst thing to hear before going under anesthesia? I think the worst thing to hear when going under anesthesia is someone to, like, you know, as like you're just going under, to hear someone say something along the lines of, you know, the doctor's drunk or something like that, or the doctor's not doing, like, just something terrible like that. Like, could you imagine, like, hearing that as you're just going under? You would hope that, you know, they find a replacement for that guy. That it's not gonna be some drunk doctor doing it. Like, I think that would be the worst thing to hear. I know that there's not gonna actually be a drunk doctor doing surgery, but, you know. That would be the worst thing to hear. What's more realistic, a giraffe or unicorn? Unicorn. Honestly, unicorn. Yeah, that's another good one. Honestly, the giraffe seems way less realistic than a unicorn. Just saying my opinion there. Would you ever be interested in learning another language at any point? You know, I've tried learning other languages, and I think the one of the reasons why I have such a hard time learning other languages on my own is, one, because I'm trying to use Duolingo. Two, I don't have anyone to talk with in that language. Three, I have dyslexia. So, you know. Oh my god, if I were to do a Duolingo speedrun stream, I'd probably do German, simply for the fact of there's enough similar words to English that I think I'd be able to pick it up a lot faster than most other languages. If you could gain any ability from a show, movie, series, anime, manga, or except, what would it be? Honestly, I don't think I'd want any special ability, because every time somebody gets a special ability, that's where the villain shows up, and I don't want that shit. I don't want to be fighting monsters. No, you're right. You would. That sounds like it could be difficult but fun. Hello, Taff! Okay, so since I've got two of my daughters in chat right now, I gotta introduce you guys. So, Taff, have you met the Girl Scout? I don't know if you two have met before, but you both are my daughters. I hope you get along. Meet, yeah. So, yeah. I don't want any ability from any of those, because it would be one of those things of, I would get it, and then the villains would show up. I'm good. How about you? Would you... oh, I already read that. Would you really track Sal down and beat his ass at his home? Sal, some of the things you do, I would have to say yes. I really would. Just for some of the things. Is Sal's dog really that puntable? Well, I don't really like small itty-bitty dogs that much. A lot of them make me think of ugly rats. I hate to say it, but a lot of really small dogs really just make me think of ugly rats. Like, a lot of them are just not cute. They're not. It is what it is. As for puntable, I would not actually ever punt a dog. I joke with the punt-a-pup thing, but I would never, ever, ever do that. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've grown up with dogs. Like, I've had good and bad experiences with dogs, so it is what it is for me. Yeah, I'd probably punt Sal over a fence. Yes. I agree. So another question was, what does your car smell like? So, newsflash, guys, I do not own a car. I don't have a car. there is no car that I personally have. My boyfriend has a car. His car smells like nothing to me, honestly. I'm so used to the smell in his car at this point that I don't notice a smell. That is really unfortunate. Tacos or no tacos, I don't really care for tacos that much. Oh, that's weird. Welcome back, Taff. I don't have words. I don't know why that happened. So, most tacos around where I live, if you want to get them fast food, they're spicy as fuck. I like spicy food, but I can't have it. It makes me sick. So I have to avoid spicy food at all costs. So, how did your design come to be? Honestly, hello, Ghost. Welcome, and boo back to you. So my avatar design, actually, funny enough, I was going to do an android. I'm not kidding you. Originally, my avatar was going to be a pastel goth android. But as time went on, I didn't really like that idea. I felt it was much too mainstream. And things kind of just, you know, it gained its own life. And I ended up creating pretty much all of the lore that I have currently for my model world and everything like that. So, you know, my design, I had an idea. I tried sketching it out, said, fuck it, we're not sketching it. Came up with a color palette, which was a pastel goth based color palette, and went from there. And I just created the entire model in a week, and went from there. I like your lore, so don't call it dumb. I like it. By the way, if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask them, be it in my mailbox or in stream chat. You know, my mailbox is in my Discord server. Either one works. I will answer them as, you know, we go through the stream. So, of course, you judge me so much. That's why you were disowned as my son. Judging has made you the disowned child. One of my disowned children. And yes, I have disowned 2 children so far. We'll not get into the other one that is disowned. We're not getting into that. I've spoken at lengths to some people about that one. We're not going into that. Okay? So, I'm gonna now start talking about the lore of my avatar in the world. So, Scout, you're so sweet. I could never disown you. You're such a sweetheart. I love you. You're an amazing daughter. You're so sweet. You're huggable. Like, I could hug you. Like, you and Taff, like, all my children, like, aside from the 2 that I disowned, well, actually, alright, Taff, but, I actually don't hate Spin. Spin is actually a really nice guy, to be completely honest. So, that was all in itself, like, one big joke for Spin, and being disowned and everything like that. The other person, the reason why they were disowned was a number of reasons, not getting into that on stream, for too many reasons. If you know, then that means I've told you. you likely know their name, or at least their username, and I would say that I don't advise another artist to work with them. And there's reasons for that. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm not going to go into that on stream. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get into the lore a bit. So, I kind of came up with some bits of the lore for my avatar, and then I did a huge chunk of lore for the world that my avatar came from, and then some things kind of built off of that. So I'm going to start with the lore from my avatar, and then go into the lore of my world. So my avatar is a shadow mage. There's actually some things that I still can't reveal just yet. In fact, when I get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will drop a huge bomb on all of you that some of you may have expected, some of you may not. I will also be giving you hints as to what that is, because I have been giving hints since June of this year of what that thing might be. So some of them are actually on my Period YouTube channel, and that is actually where I explain more, like, some things more in depth. Yes, exactly. I've got to give you guys incentive to, you know, go and sub to me on YouTube. Like, I'm holding it all hostage. How'd you know? Oh my god, he guessed it. Guys, Virgil guessed it. What the fuck, dude? Why'd you do that? How dare you? No, it's actually not that. The big reveal is something you guys may not expect. Some of you may expect. I've only told one person in this whole chat what it is. Only one person knows, other than myself. So, only one other person knows what the big reveal is. And I don't expect to reveal this until maybe a good year, 2 years. Maybe? I don't know. I'm expecting minimum of 3 years to get to 1,000 subs on YouTube. We're gonna see how quickly this goes. My thoughts are is it's gonna take me 3 years. If I get there sooner than that, fantastic. If I don't, fantastic. It's not gonna bug me any. If you get it right, I will only let you know in DMs, but you are sworn to secrecy. So, anyways, my avatar's lore is that, you know, she's a shadow mage, and that she went through the process of... Alright, sounds good. So, I actually did do a thing where I know I said something like if somebody gets it right, I'll actually make them something for free. So we'll see if somebody ever gets it right before I make the big reveal. We'll see. So I also did give you guys the chance to translate something with hints as well, but we're gonna get into that later. Let me get into the lore first. So, for my avatar, she's a shadow mage. All shadow mages are by default trained to be assassins because of their abilities with their magic. So, shadow mages have the ability to move through shadows, which allows them to not be heard, seen, or smelt. Like, you can't smell them. So it makes it really nice and easy for them to move from point A to point B and assassinate someone, which is why they're trained by default through their whole schooling, you know, all of their schooling to essentially be this, but they're not forced to. So so what happens is that if they choose not to, or they they choose to, sometimes they will wait in a line to, you know, be called upon by the council. Usually the council is partly in charge of this, and the reason why is because regional rulers are in fact the old royalty. They were kind of given the feel-good title and the ability to essentially be generals. So all those who are born with this bloodline are, well, kept hidden under the council's, you know, own plan, so that, you know, other regional rulers who may feel threatened don't try to, you know, get a hair across, like, they don't, you know, try and kill anyone who could take their place. It's a protection type thing because there aren't a ton of regional rulers. There's a good number, but they're like, the ones that aren't in, like, power are kind of in the shadows, like, this way, like, they're protected, and, you know, the whole thing. So nobody knows who one regional ruler may be or not unless they are in power. Regional rulers are only known if they're holding a seat. Essentially, regional rulers are generals, and regional rulers have a unique ability, but assassins are kind of controlled by the council loosely, and an assassin who wishes to be someone who is trained to be an assassin, who wishes to be an assassin, will be assigned to a regional ruler, and if any regional ruler feels like they're all, you know, powerful and can take over, they're killed pretty quick. So it's essentially a guillotine that is always over your head if you ever are a regional ruler in a position of power. So regional rulers are not forced to take a position if it's offered to them. It is entirely their choice. They can, you know, continue to stay in the shadows and, you know, just never be revealed. So there's that. They have assassins that are assigned to them. Some regional rulers do not have a shadow mage that is assigned to them. Instead, is a light mage. The downside to light mages who are assassins, they can bend light around them, but they could potentially still be hurt if they're walking, and, like, animals can still smell them. Literally, they only get the benefit of being able to move very quickly, like, because they're light mages, they can move at light speed. So, you know, speed of light. Which is good, but if they want to be super stealthy and, you know, follow someone around, it's a little more difficult. just saying. So there is that fact. But moving on is that, as far as you're concerned, there is no guarantee that my avatar is an assassin or not, because people who are working assassins are not revealed, simply for the fact of, you know, why would, you know, someone want to know one person who's an assassin or not? It's just a form of protection, I guess you could say. So that's never really revealed. As far as you guys are concerned, regardless of if my avatar really is an assassin or not, I run an ancient magical item shop and enjoy my days there. And, well, some of my days. Other days I go to Earth and, you know, enjoy my time there. And come here to stream and, you know, all that stuff. So yeah. But that is mostly the lore that is my avatar and the world lore that links to my avatar. So... lurking. I gotta fix that. For some reason that didn't work. I gotta fix that. So yeah, that is my avatar's lore. Now as for the world's lore, I'm gonna start with the basics and then work from there. So the world of Furia is pretty much shadowed in darkness, and this is because what happened was that it became known that the system that we were in was going to essentially be destroyed. And it wasn't going to be destroyed by, you know, some enemy or anything like that. It was pretty much a shaman found out that a black hole was going to kind of form. Hello, galaxies, welcome. So a black hole was going to form, which was going to be close enough to where it was going to be able to pull the entire system into it. So the option was leave the planet, potentially displace another race, or link our planet to another and not displace any single person on either side. So what was picked was to link the planet with another with a protective barrier. What do you mean by you need to decipher the hidden lore? But, so that was one thing that happened. And at the time, Furia didn't have as many mages. So, and Furia actually didn't go by Furia. It went by a completely different name. In fact, Furia is the name that is extremely simplified. And after this stream, you will, in fact, know the real name of Furia. The name is actually going to change on both my Discord server and my YouTube channel, and the reason why is because I did the I started teaching everyone the extremely simplified version of the language. It's kind of been dubbed the foreigner language. So it's easy for foreigners to learn it this way. And anybody from Furia will understand well enough what is being said. So as long as you can understand this version of the language, you can generally communicate with someone in Furia. But the actual language is significantly more complex. But regardless, anyways, back to what I'm saying is that upon like finding enough mages, getting everyone to work together, because they had to pool a lot of magic in order to pull off linking the world with another one. This also came across, like, there was another issue that came up too. So by essentially the original sun, like the sun that we had. Alright, talk to you later, sweet nightmares. The issue is that the sun that we had was going to be pulled into the black hole as well. since there weren't enough mages, they couldn't really link the sun in place so that, you know, we could have a normal day-night cycle. There wasn't enough mages to do this at the time. So they did the next best thing, and that was, after linking our planet with another one, we essentially had a ton of magic poured into the moon, and we actually made it so that the moon would always generate light. So the moon goes around the planet, and so it gives us our day-night cycle. Our planet actually does it does, and it doesn't really. Like, it's weird how to explain it. So like, the core of the planet turns, but the crust doesn't, if that makes any sense. So it's kind of like the crust never moves, so the core is always moving, and it's interesting how that works. So the moon is what really moves, and we'd actually our planet didn't actually always have this issue. It did rotate, but we kind of had to change certain things within our planet and things like that so that, you know, everything would work and coexist. The planet didn't move fast enough for us to have a proper day-night cycle, so that's why we kind of suspended the crust in a way and allowed the core to move, and we had the moon, which is our sun, move for a day-night cycle. So not only did we have to affect the moon, the planet, link a planet with ours, but we also had to start quickly changing all of the plants, because the plants were not going to survive. They were all going to pretty much wither and die off. So the earth mages that we had at the time, which was not very many, started to go around and change some of the plants. They didn't change all of them, that would have taken too long, but they did change some of them. So now at this point, I'm going to move on, and what happened after, you know, linking both worlds. So essentially, think, you know how radiation seeps in and it stays for a long period of time? Think of magic in our world as radiation, except it doesn't kill you. It just makes you mutate, and just about everyone that is born on this planet has not only mutations, but magic. It is extremely rare now for someone to be born without magic. This actually caused a whole lot of problems going forward, because so many children that were being born with magic that we were struggling to, at one point in time, keep up with the training of these children. And this caused a lot of problems. So we had a lot of kids with very destructive abilities being born very quickly. And it was very, very dangerous. So that was a problem in itself. The other thing that occurred upon linking planets was our entire language changed literally as soon as the link happened. This is because the fluctuation of magic changed everything so quickly and so drastically. We knew what the original language was supposed to be, but were unable to speak it anymore. So it is theorized that if, for any reason, Syria were to disconnect from Earth, they would go back to speaking the original language naturally. This makes some things very tricky. So our original language is and isn't lost at the same time. Because, you know, it's as weird as it might sound, it's innately known, and the reason for this is because of certain aspects of each individual, and because we cannot speak the original language, we cannot speak what is known as our true names, so we innately know them, but we can't say them. So it leaves issues, and it's one of the reasons why everyone, can't say what their true name is. Granted, you don't want to tell people your true name anyways, because knowing someone's true name actually gives them a level of power over you. So everyone has a given name regardless of past or present. Like, pre-portal to present day, you wouldn't want anyone to notice that. You wouldn't want anyone to know that regardless. Just not not a good thing to, let someone have that much power over you. Just some random person. But you get what I mean. So, I actually wanted to say something before I moved on, but I'll wait till later to say this. So after that whole shift, the portals linking Earth and Furia came about 150,000 years ago, give or take. And this is about the time humans, created language, or started to develop language. So, human language has, in some ways, affected ours, which is why it is the way it is. And it's one of the reasons why we have the foreigner language, which is Vtuber, and why, if you were to learn Vtuber, it's not as difficult to learn as the official language. So it's kind of like a mid-ground language. A lot of people are taught this mid-ground language so that it's easy for communication. Not everybody in Furia knows English. Not everyone in Furia knows different languages. But it's kind of, just taught to people so that, there's some language that, everyone can speak more easily. So, Vtuber is pretty much not too difficult. It's kind of, given the alphabet of the official language, and so from their translation from at least English to Vtuber, because I did the translation from English to Vtuber because I know English well enough to be able to do that. So I was able to do that. Don't ask me to translate to Japanese. Don't ask me to translate to German. Don't ask me to translate it to any other language. Okay? I can only do it with one. So we're gonna leave it at that. So yeah. If you ever want to learn how to translate that version, you're more than welcome to. For the most part, the language, the official language, is actually a little more complex and uses a lot of similar root words from Earth. So I've actually started to slowly translate some words into this language, which is in the Furia server. So the root words that you're usually going to use are Latin, Germanic, and Greek. Those are generally the main 3 that you're going to use, but depending on region, you might have root words from other countries. Oh, I'm sorry, Sal. So those are generally the root words. I use one more root word because of the region that I'm from, which is essentially, be sure it's high. It spells as high, P-I-E. So, let me just double check. I think it might be, or maybe it's P-E-I. Hold on. Let me look real quick. I forget which way it goes. My ability to English can sometimes fail me real well. Yeah, I actually fail at spelling more often than I care to say. Hello, Pumpkin, welcome. Let me just find... Just want to see if I can find that one specific... Oh, yep, it is P-I-E. So it is P-I-E, and it pretty much, so it is, the root word is P-I-E, and I will get you this definition, because I fucking forgot what it means. Where is it? That would be concerning. Okay, so it stands for Proto-Indo-European. So that is what it means, is Proto-Indo-European root words. So that is one of the root words that, or roots that I will use at times, because, you know, that's just for my region. Not all regions are going to be like that. Some might use root words from Japanese, some might use root words from, you know, it'll vary. You'll see a variety of different root words. And it's in part because of region. So there is that. So that's why the language can be a little complex, and so there's, you know, different variants because of the change in root words. Can cause some issues with, you know, talking to others on the main continent. It's unfortunate, but it happens. So yeah, I'm gonna go into the magic types now. So you have your 4 most common magic types, and I'm going to say them in order. So you have your Earth Mages, and Earth Mages can, you know, create, manipulate the element. Earth Mages can branch out into, like, plant magic, things like that. But branching out, keep in mind, takes a great deal of skill and time to learn and understanding of what you're trying to manipulate. That takes years to do. So it's not something that you just innately know. It's something that you must learn. So Earth Mages have their own manifestation types, which can be moles, plant-like creature, or earthen golems. They are the most common seen manifestations or conduits, whichever you would prefer. A conduit or manifestation is a bit of your magic and your soul combined, and it's something that you can manifest. And so that is physical form of your magic, in a way. So that actually ties in to certain things. Yes, most Earth Mages are super cute. They're, like, pretty much all chibi, at least Earth Mages are all, imagine, like, chibi people. Like, some of them will have, like, ear horns and stuff like that. It really depends on their mutations. But a lot of them will have cute horns, and they'll be, like, super chibi and super cute. Then you have Water Mages. Water Mages have the ability to create and control water. Their manifestations are often fish, amphibians, or some sort of water-like creature. So some manifestations are not a solid form. Hello, Nick! Welcome! Then you have your Fire Mages. And I'm going in order of what is common, so keep this in mind. So Fire Mages are next. And as you imagine, Fire Mages can create and control manipulating fire. Their manifestations are birds, reptiles, fire or lava-like type creatures. And then you have the Air Mages, which are the least common out of the 4 basic elements. Now, the 4 basic elements are the most common elements you'll see within Furia. So, air magic, obviously, you can manipulate air, you can create. Oh, thank you for the raid! Welcome, raiders! Hello, Capelia! How are you? What were you guys doing? And welcome again. So air mages, you know, they can they can manipulate or create air. As long as they're on a planet, they don't really need to create air. They have an infinite source of air. Hi! So air mages don't necessarily need to create more air. I guess they could if they want to, but they don't have to. Their manifestations are normally... Oh, thank you so much for the follow! Welcome to the Shadowlands! Ooh, Bioshock. Nice. I hope that went well. I hope you guys had fun. So, air mages' manifestations are normally birds or gaseous type creatures. And then we're gonna go on to the 4 less common magic types, which is I'm gonna go in order again, which are energy, sound, shadow, and light. Shadow and light are a little complicated, and I'll get to those later because they kind of they're kind of interlinked. So energy are essentially lightning mages. It's called an energy mage simply for the fact that lightning is kind of more old world to call it, so an energy mage. and so they can generate, control electricity, things like that. Their manifestations are often energy like orbs, or birds or winged creatures. Sound mages have the ability to control, like, they're not so much sound mages, more vibration mages, so they can create the vibrations of things. I'm gonna get into more about that in a little bit. Give me a minute. So vibration mages have the ability to, you know, control vibrations, be it air or the ground or fluids, whatever, which makes them very complicated. And it's tricky with this one because they're very tricky in a lot of things for this reason. Yeah, so most vibration mages are actually musicians, so even if a vibration mage can't sing well, they can give the illusion that they can because they can control the vibrations in the air so that you hear a lovely melody. They actually probably don't even need a band, they can literally just create sound. So that's one of the really cool things about vibration mages. They do very, very well in that industry. They are more common. It's actually not uncommon for a vibration mage to work with, like, earth mages, construction crews, things like that, because by creating vibrations, they can essentially destroy things too. So they have quite some unique abilities that they can potentially, yes. Probably not necessarily advised, depending on their mutations. Some mutations might not be geared to allow that, and they could hurt themselves. Vibration mages often have songbirds, very large creatures that can shake the ground as, like, they walk. So vibration mages probably have some of the larger potential manifestations. Also, disclaimer, the size of your manifestation does not necessarily mean how powerful you are. Your manifestation could be the tiniest fucking thing, and you could be the most powerful person. I don't know enough about vibration mages to say yes or no on that. I'm not a vibration mage. We're not getting to that. And then shadow and light mages are interlinked. There are the exact same number of shadow mages as there are light mages, which is why I said that they are so interlinked. So I'm going to go to light mage, and then I'm going to go to shadow mage, and the reason why is because I know more about shadow magic than I do light magic. So we're gonna go with what I know least of to what I know more of. So light mages can control and generate light. I'd like to call them our living glow sticks. They are also, unfortunately, the brightest motherfuckers on the entire planet. Not everybody knows this, but all life can bioluminesce. Unfortunately, light mages can't control their bioluminescence to the same level as other mages can, and this is because they're all mutated that way, but the only way that they can kind of dim that down is by controlling the light of their own bioluminescence. Right, they don't. Rave mages, yeah. So they're the brightest mage you will ever come across. They have to use their own magic to dim down their bioluminescence, whereas other mages and magic type users do not have to worry about that. They can control it on their own. You missed me explaining the 4 magic types and some information about Furia. I think you missed the language talk as well. So light mages, you know, are the brightest people. They're the living glow sticks of all the mages. I feel kind of bad for them. Their counterpart is the shadow mage, so for every shadow or light mage that is born, their counterpart is born as well within an hour of their birth. So between a few minutes to an hour. I'm sorry. I will be posting this whole video on YouTube, so yes, you could have a light mage as a potential nightlight. So this entire video will be on YouTube. If you know the timestamp for the information that you missed, you can always go back and, you know, find that information. So light mages' manifestations are often light-like orbs or light-like creatures, small bright birds, or, you know, orbs of light. Like, their manifestations are super simple. Now for shadow mages. Shadow mages can control and create shadows. Holy shocker, you know, all of that. It has also been noted that, you know, obviously they have their counterpart, which is the light mage. So so there are an equal number of shadow and light mages, unless one has been killed. If, you know, say a shadow or light mage dies. Hello, Steve. Yes, you missed a lot. So, the only time that there's a slight imbalance is when a shadow mage or light mage dies. And, you know, obviously when one dies, the other is not going to die. So they're not interlinked like that. Oh, I hope your homework's going well. So shadow and light mages are interesting. So even though they're born to kind of be opposites, even personality-wise to an extent, but this does not necessarily mean that, say, a good or evil shadow mage is going to have a, you know, complete opposite counterpart. Their personalities are going to be different enough to where it's going to be very hard for them to get along. So some shadow mages will get along with some light mages will get along with some shadow mages. It's very difficult for them to get along with their counterpart, though. So, like, both a shadow and light mage counterpart could both be very nice, sweet people, but they're just so different enough where they just will not mesh. They will not work as a working unit. They don't get along very well normally. Or if they do get along, it's because of a mutual understanding of some sort. So that is only with their born counterpart. Only with their born counterpart is this a thing. Shadow mage manifestations are often bats, shadow-type creatures, and some creatures... Yes, it does. And some seem almost ghost-like or wisp-like in their appearance. So there is that. Now, as you can tell, for most of these magic types, there is some sort of creature that can usually change shape to some extent for their manifestation. And I'm going to get into that as we get to the last two, which are the Mystic Arts mages and the Pure mages. So, the Mystic Arts, the Shaman, the Divine mages, whatever you want to call them, they are given the title as Shaman. They have a very unique ability where they can heal. No other magic type user can do this. their magic is more utilitarian. It's not meant for combat. Some of them are capable of seeing into the future. This does not mean that, you know, they're able to see everything. A few minutes, like here and there, to give them an idea as to what's going on. This does not necessarily mean that, you know, they're going to know how to solve the problem. They're going to X, Y, and Z, you know. They'll only know enough to, you know, allow them to understand the basic concept. And not all shaman can see, you know, a great deal. Like, some might only be able to see a minute, some might only get 30 seconds, some might get a total of 5 minutes, and it's cut off. And sometimes, even then, there's not a lot of control, so sometimes one day you might get a 5-minute thing where you can, like, see something, and a week later you get, like, 30 seconds. It's not a set in stone, you'll always see this much. You get the basic bare bones of what could potentially happen. So they're not really very good for, their magic at least is not good for combat. They could totally train their bodies so that they can deal with combat. Alright, I hope that goes well. So shaman are actually born into their own seat of government, and there's not a lot of these guys. So generally, because of this, a specific shaman will work with the council, and then you'll have a specific shaman for each regional ruler. Shaman who do not have these positions will be generally in charge of hospitals and things like that. And with that, they'll also have shaman under them who work within the hospitals. So you'll have, like, your head guy in charge of the hospital and have X number of people with different skill levels in there. This is also where other shaman teach other shaman how to use their magical abilities. In extremely rare cases, shaman can be born with one of the elemental magic types. It is so rare that it almost never happens. Shaman also do not have a magical manifestation unless they are under one of the extremely rare few that are born with an elemental magic type. So shaman do not have manifestation at all. Yes. Pure mages are specifically from one bloodline. One specific bloodline. They're the only mages with this unique ability. I will actually reveal eventually a little bit of history about the pure mages. And I'll probably be doing that throughout the month of November in the Furia Discord server. So, regional rulers are actually the pure mages are actually from a royal bloodline. The royal bloodline is pretty dark in some of its history. From assassinations to wars to all sorts of things. I'm starting to think that I might have to continue this debut tomorrow because it's actually taking a lot longer to explain everything than I had expected. So I might be explaining more of this tomorrow. So pure mages, not only do they come from a royal bloodline, some of them will hold seats as regional rulers. Yes, so they also, like, pure mages do have a manifestation or conduit, as well. Theirs is usually never has a proper physical form. And this actually ties into the elemental mages who have manifestations who do not have physical forms. It is theorized that those with manifestations who do not have physical forms could potentially be either family members within the regional ruler, royal family that either do not have the unique ability of pure mages, or they do and it's not, it's not being brought to light that they have that ability. Now, pure mages are have the potential to be extremely powerful and extremely dangerous if they have an elemental magic type. As such, if they have an elemental magic type, they have the ability to boost the magical abilities of other mages around them as well as themselves. So think of them as the steroid shot for magic. Like, this is why they are given the title and position of general. They can literally lead an armed force and empower just their forces. They can pick who they wish to empower with this ability. So welcome back, Virgil. I just started explaining regional rulers and some things like that. So regional rulers have the ability to, amplify the magical abilities of others, and if they're born with an elemental magic ability themselves, they will be able to empower themselves, which could make them the most dangerous potential people on in Furia. So they do have manifestations, they do not have specific physical forms, like I said, and this is one of the reasons why it is theorized by many who are not in seats that hold, power, that those with magic types that have a manifestation that does not have a specific form could be related to the regional rulers and either may not have the specific ability to, give power to others as well as themselves, or they do have it and it's just the council has completely hidden their identity as their, that they are in fact of royal bloodline. Like I said, regional rulers often get a hair across their ass. There are plenty of regional rulers who absolutely hate other regional rulers, and if they did not have a guillotine over their heads 24/7, may have started a war already. We have, in fact, had regional rulers killed because of issues. It's a whole other story. So we have already had to implement, killing of regional rulers and then bringing someone new into power. So it's one of those things where they're not innately known to the public or other regional rulers. They have that unique ability, and they do have a manifestation or conduit, whichever one you want to call it. But now I'm going to go on to the mutations. Now, there's one mutation I haven't added yet. So, regional rulers are kind of put into a hierarchy for the council to kind of like offer the position to. And usually this is based upon... Hello and welcome! So, regional rulers are kind of put into tiers based upon the region that they're living in. And so some people will have a... You're welcome. So some regional rulers that are born with this bloodline are put at the top to offer a position should a regional ruler have to be removed from office, we'll put it. And So the council will offer that person who they have in line first this position. In fact, since we're talking about it, we have I'm going to actually touch on a topic that I mentioned a few months ago. Is that some of you may remember, some of you may not, and I did touch upon this in a YouTube stream back in, I think, June or July. And so what it is that there is an area that is kind of semi-unclaimed. It's completely undeveloped further north in a very cold, icy region. And the reason for this is because the creatures there are extremely dangerous, and they're essentially going to send someone to try and colonize it, which is a death sentence. They're essentially going to send someone to their death. So that has created some controversy for more than one reason, because that region overlaps two other regional rulers' domains, so the council's kind of decided to split that off into a chunk and make it its own region, because it's undeveloped, and the other regional rulers who are in control of that, or were in control of that region, to not have control over it, which shrinks their regions, so this might actually cause some issues. Well, this killing them is not necessarily going to make you seen as a ruler in the eyes of, you know, the people. So if you were to do that, you would probably have a lot of revolts. And the reason, in part, one of the reasons why this was done the way that it was because the person who, this goes into history that was long before we actually ever connected to Earth. So what happened was that thousands and thousands of years ago, not going to get into the exact date, regional rulers were they weren't called regional rulers. They were queens, kings, you know, royal families, legit royal families. And they were constantly fighting against each other for more land, for more power, and so on and so forth. Some regional rulers can, in fact, encompass massive areas with their ability. And so as such, usually you found the capital to be the largest city, and the regional rulers that could encompass larger areas thought of themselves as more powerful. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It just means that they were able to sit further back from the main fight, because not all of them fought in the wars, you know, with their people, and would pretty much observe and just empower their people. So this went on for a very long time. There was wars that lasted way longer than they should have. And at one point in time, there was one king who completely left the main continent. Information of where he went was destroyed, and the people that he came back with to essentially subdue all of the kings and queens on the main continent they never spoke a word of where they went, what happened, you know, or anything like that. But he was a very long-lived king, and he came back a long time after he had left with greater forces, literally squashed all of the other regions within a very short period of time, taking over and then reconstructing the government. In fact, he reconstructed it so much where he pulled himself out of the head position of power. And any royal family member that opposed what he was doing, he just killed. He was like, nope, you're gone. And that was how he pretty much got everyone, all of the rulers in line. Anybody who did not comply was just killed. He was not having any of it. So it was quite bloody. We did lose a lot of royal families. Thank you very much, and, that sounds like a big pain in the ass. But, yeah, so he pretty much squashed anyone who didn't agree. Anyone who didn't agree, he just killed, got rid of. Because he was trying to recreate the government in a way that would be more beneficial long run, and keep people in check. So the families that did not oppose him at all were given the title of regional rulers, and they were given region... Thank you for the bits, you didn't have to! So... once he got, you know, that all set... Oh my god! Seriously? What the fuck? Thank you again. So, as he, you know, reconstructed the government, the council members were to be elected positions by the people. Goodbye, bots. Anyways, so the... Oh, he's already gone. Don't worry about it. So... What was I saying? So the council members are elected by the people. The shaman are born into their position. Regional rulers are kind of born into their position. Oh, no worries, Sal. I got it. I haven't gotten one of those in a while, so whatever. So, shaman are born into their positions. Regional rulers are kind of born into their positions. Alright, no worries. Talk to you later, Scout. Love you. So, shaman and regional rulers are pretty much the two that are born in their positions. Alright, sounds good. 2 hours and 16 minutes is where you've left off, so remember that. So those two are born into their positions, and, council members are elected, whereas, Arcanists are elected, but also earn their position, or earn the ability to be elected. So, Arcanists are normal people who go through a great deal of training, and they wish to pretty much have an elected position. So, like, they are elected into that position. So, it is one of those things where it is an elected position. You have to be well educated, and you have to be considered like a potential to be an arcanist. Arcanists are usually more like a part of the people, and you know, so it's not necessarily like politicians like you have on Earth. It's a little different, but they are more for the people, for the school systems and things like that. So you have arcanists that are elected, they run school systems and things like that. So you have tiers. So you have arcanists, wizards, and, you know, it branches down from there. So the Arcanists are all in charge of, you know, the wizards. And these are, you know, generic terms that I used based upon translations and what I figured would fit best for you guys to understand. So Arcanists are in charge of the wizards, and the wizards are like called teachers, or people that have gone through all of the lessons that they need to, and so on and so forth. So now that I've got the government out of the way, because that came up, I'm gonna go into mutations. But I have a feeling that I have to continue this tomorrow, so this might be a couple-day process to go through everything. So, wasn't expecting it to take this long. To be completely honest, I thought this was going to be like a 2-hour session. Taking much longer than I anticipated. So, for mutations, horns I haven't added yet as a mutation, but you can have horns. Horns are not an uncommon thing. So, ears can be a variety of things. I'm glad you think so. So ears, they can be, they're not really cat ears. So like they can be fluffy ears, but they're going to be positioned where like all other life ears are. So like they're going to be on the side of your head. So like they might be more pointed, they might be floofier, they, you know, so on and so forth. But they're all positioned in the same spot. Be it the shape, size will all vary. And so then skin is also a potential mutation. Skin is on everyone is you're gonna all have, like, all are gonna have some form of no I didn't. That might have been someone else. Was not me. You'd have to go and look to see who gifted that to you, because it was not me. Well, I didn't do it, and you would have had to accept the gift. So, yeah. Well, I don't know, because I didn't do it. That I promise. Well then. Yeah, you have to accept a gift before it'll just come into your library. So I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't say anything. I did not gift it to you. So you may have had it for a while and just didn't know. But skin can have a variety of mutations. So the bioluminescence can be spots, marks, or like even their nails. Maybe. Good luck figuring that out, though. So one mutation that is always going to be there. I'm good. Happy Halloween. How are you, Kiko? I hope you're doing wonderful. So, yeah, those are different things that can be bioluminescent. Those are pretty much always going to happen for a mutation. Other mutations can be translucent skin. It can also be odd colors as well. Well, some interesting mutations. So one thing that's also interesting is that depending on the race, the location, this can affect the hair, the texture of the hair, or even if instead of hair, you're growing fur. It's very uncommon to have glowing hair or fur. So keep that one in mind. I'm sorry, I wish you the best of luck with work. So for teeth can be a interesting mutation, and that'll depend as to, you know, your subrace or your specific race. So subraces are kind of categorized based upon what's the most dominant type of mutation that you have that's notable by the time you're 13. And usually by the time you're 13 is when you know most, if not all, of your mutations. You've missed a ton. You missed the Q&A and a bunch of other stuff, and I've actually come to realize I'm probably going to have to continue this tomorrow. So this debut stream is actually going to continue tomorrow because I'm going to have to go pretty soon. I'm trying to do this. I'm not leaving yet, but I'm going to have to continue this tomorrow. So I will be uploading this video for tomorrow at this time on YouTube. So feel free to go check it out on YouTube and, you know, rewatch the stream. So teeth are a mutation, so you can have a more carnivorous teeth shape, which is more sharp teeth, or if you're more of an herbivore-based race or subrace, you'll have flatter teeth, and there are obviously omnivorous races and subraces where you'll have more similar to human-like teeth, or you might be skewed more one way or the other for herbivore or carnivore. Tails are not uncommon at all and have a very wide range of appearance and mutations. It's not uncommon for a tail to have some reminiscent appearance to their magic type. For instance, my mutation is I don't have a shadow. My tails are actually, in fact, my shadow. So you may not know this normally, but that is what some of my tails are. 7 out of my 11 tails are my shadow. 4 of my tails are, in fact, skin and muscle. So, depending on your magic type, can affect your tail. A lot of fire users will have... Thank you. I thought it was really cool too. So, fire mages will usually have tails that could potentially have scales. And the scales are more like fingernails. Oh, we're talking about my world, the lore of my avatar, and things like that. In some cases, some tails will have like feathers or something like that. It also depends on the race and stuff like that. So it's one of those things. I don't technically have or grow scales. It's just cartilage, or not cartilage. Essentially, you know, your fingernail. So, life tails, scales, or even scales on their skin are usually more reminiscent to fingernails. Oh no, we're not doing D&D. I'm explaining the mutations for the lore of my world right now. Wings are more common for certain magic users when it comes down to ice. So you're more likely to see wings on light mages or air mages. So yeah, those are what you're more likely to see them on. But the wings can also vary too based upon how they look. Like, for instance, most light mages might have wings that are less, you know, what you'd imagine to be potentially bird-like. Very, very interesting how the mutations can vary. it's not uncommon for them to have bat-like wings. So that's a pretty common thing. Wings also never sprout from a person's ass. I've been seeing a lot of artwork where wings are sprouting from people's asses. Actually, their tailbones. Wings are, in fact, essentially an extra set of arms with fingers and hands. That's what wings are. So they're actually sprouting from the upper part of your back because, you know, that's generally where arms are. And yes, you do have special shoulder blades for such things. So don't expect to see any Ife with wings coming out of their fucking ass. Not happening. I don't know who started the wing ass thing for art, but oh my, have you not seen some of the artwork that seems to be have you seen some of the recent artwork for where wings are coming out of? That's fine. Besides, it's already too late. Your little stream avatar already said it's forever in the VOD. But, yeah, I've seen artwork where people seem to... There. So, anyways, a lot of artwork I've seen recently, people have been drawing wings coming out of pretty much people's tailbones, and it looked really weird, and it makes no sense. Why are we having wings come out of tailbones? Ah! I'm so happy that you could make it too. Thank you for coming by. So, unfortunately, I'm actually gonna have to stop here. Reason being is that I do have other things that I have to do today, which kind of happened that were unplanned, because I had planned to possibly get through everything today. So, the 2.5 hours that I did right now are the amount that I can do. So, I'm going to raid somebody, and, you know, I will finish this up probably tomorrow. Well, I've been seeing a lot of creature, like, with wings coming from their ass, and it just looks stupid. Hello and welcome, everyone! Thank you! Sal was the first to talk in chat. Hello, wifey! How is everybody today? I hope you're all doing wonderfully. Alright. So, yesterday, we were going to do mutations, but I don't think did I finish the mutations? I don't remember if I finished them or not. I'm gonna go over them again. Oh, love you, wifey. Oh my god, you guys. Why does it matter who's first? Alright, so yesterday I was talking a lot about theory and stuff like that. I actually didn't get to finish everything that I wanted to say. So I have to do it again, like, do everything today. Maybe finish, and maybe we'll get to a game. We'll see. If not, well, there's always tomorrow. And then next week, I will actually not be working on Thursdays. Starting next week, for the rest of November. I will not be working on Thursday, so I will have an extra day. Got that, guys? Extra days. We'll see if I'll stream more or not. There's no promises, okay? All right. So, I think I went over mutations, didn't I? Pooped up? Oh my! So one mutation, it's the most common, like, actually, all of these mutations are fairly common depending on, some of them are a little more dependent on, like, elemental magic types, like the wings, horns as well. But ears you see on everyone, they all vary. That sounds extremely uncomfortable. So, ears have a variation of how they can look like. There's a lot of different styles, too many to list off. All of them come out from the side of the head, though, kind of, you know, where you would imagine ears to normally be on people's. They don't come out the top of the head, they come out the side of the head. Remember that. All variations are like that. Skin can be a number of different things. In most cases, they're bioluminescent spots, markings, or their nails will bioluminesce. In other cases, the skin can be translucent, or it can be a variety of different colors. Oh my god! You guys, I will bonk ya! Eyes can be a mutation, be it, you know, circular or elliptical pupils. Sometimes eyes can be bioluminescent. Thank you, wifey. Thank you, Nick. Oh my! Oh my. Guard fox, not maid fox? I thought you were a maid. When did you become a guard? So... Boo. Alright, that makes sense. I understand that one. It's not uncommon for, like, eyes to glow, and eyes can come in a lot of different, like, colors, shades, and patterns. As weird as that might sound, you might actually have patterns in your eyes, depending on the mutation. You could be born with hair or fur. And that depends on the race, location, and things like that. The hair texture can also vary. And in very rare cases, it can glow. Teeth also vary greatly depending on if your subrace is carnivorous, an herbivore, or an omnivore. So some will have extremely sharp teeth, others will have flat teeth, and then others will have more human-like teeth. So teeth also can be a mutation, and subraces are based upon what's the most common, or what's the most notable mutation that you're born with. Mutations can also vary based upon genetics too. So, say like your one of your parents has super floofy ears. There's a good chance that you might end up with super floofy ears. So, you know, genetics also plays a part. But it all varies too. There's a lot of things. Tails also have a very wide range of appearances, and the magic type can seem to affect the way that the tails look in a way. So, like, say that you live in the ocean. you could end up with a fucking fin for a tail. Not shitting you. That's something that you could have. And also, like, water-type peoples could also be born with webbed fingers. I didn't put that as, like, mutation. I didn't really know what to put for an emote. I guess I could have just put a hand emote with the hand mutation. Anyways. Fingers or hands can have mutations too. There's a lot of stuff. There's only really two magic types that can end up with wings, which is light and air mages. So other magic types that have it, very, very less likely. So that's kind of one of those things that's more dependent on magic type. One thing that can happen, which is very, very rare. Hello, Ruth. Yes, hello, hi, everybody. I don't know if anybody new's come. Anyways, one thing that can happen that is very, very, very rare, like, there's only, like, a tiny, minute 0.1% of the population that has this, if not less, is being born with more than one magic type. It is so rare that it's just almost unheard of. Or you'll never meet somebody who, like, has it. Like, it's that rare. In some cases, people might be born with, say, air and water. Or in some extremely rare cases, you might have a divine mage, I guess you could call them, and someone who's using an elemental magic. And, you know, they can use both. Very, very rare. But there is a possibility to have two magic types. Just not common at all. Yeah, there's also a bunch of different sub-races. I haven't even finished listing them all, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. Actually, I made it through quite a bit more of this than I thought I did, which is awesome. Ah, my nose is bugging me. No, that's been the same since, No, it was never 10K. Yeah, no, it was never, 10K. Or, actually, it was a long, long time ago. And it was being redeemed too often. Don't say that. Sal has gotten there, what, twice already? Twice, I think? But yeah, no, it was at 10,000, 2.5, 3 months ago. Oh, damn. Save up them points. But yeah, no, Sal's redeemed it like 3 times. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. So. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Alright. So, the main continent is, yeah, because it was like almost every week it was like every week and a half that you got like 10K. So I decided to increase it because if you were able to get it after every week and a half, it just, that could add up to a lot. So we have... No, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes things need to... Oh! Thank you for the gifted sub! That was very nice of you, thank you. So, the main continent, I usually just call the main continent because the name... Thank you for the bits! Oh my god, now my nose is running. Why does my nose have to run right now? What the fuck? Stop running! I don't want to have to catch you. Yeah. I know, right? I think I think it's done now. That was no fun. So the main continent I generally... Is that what you're trying to do? Is you're trying to pretty much pay to get an emote? Because that almost seems like it. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. So, the main continent, I generally call the main continent because the name might not necessarily be the easiest to... Oh! Ducky! Well, I guess you can do whatever the fuck you want, but there's a certain... Thank you for the bits again! Congratulations on winning 5 gems! So I'm gonna try and get through this, finally, because I've tried talking about this already for a couple minutes. Anyways, the main continent I generally refer to as the main continent because of the way the name is, and not everyone's gonna be able to pronounce it properly. You're fine. I at times I have to learn to ignore chat so I can continue what I'm doing, so that's my fault. Well, it says that you won 5, so I don't know. Apparently your little dude is jumping and you're not doing anything. What can I say? Anyways. Oh, excuse me? Arisopa is the name of the main continent. It has, you know, different regions, and within the regions you'll have different regional rulers in charge of them. So the northern region is pretty much a snowy tundra, and it's been kind of split in half between 2 regional rulers. It is kind of weird that they did that, but whatever. I don't try to understand why things are being done the way that they're, or things have been done the way that they had been done. So like there's different regions, and the central most region is the capital. So as I'm sure you can imagine, the capital's pretty much smack dab in the middle of the entire continent. But this is the largest continent on the planet. There are different islands that are just off the coast. And they actually have their own races. So that is something that I will get into more at a later date. You have your 4 main oceans, which are to the north, east, west, and south. And this is because the main continent isn't really connected to other continents. They're kind of separated by gaps of ocean. So, El Samari is to the east. Iriemu is to the west. Karev is to the north, and Toi Fivis is to the south. So each different oceanic region kind of, you know, is kind of also split between north, south, and east. North, south, east, and west, and this is just makes it easier for everyone because of the way that our continent likes to, I don't know, it's all split up. We're weird. I actually don't, I didn't look into the history as to why that was split up that way. It just is. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to get into the islands. Those have their own races and stuff like that. I'll get into that when I finish adding the races and the continents and islands and stuff like that. So, I'm going to delve more into the history of certain things, like, I kind of went into, I actually did go into the history of, Etheria, its language, and its son already, so I'm going to skip over that, and I'm going to go into the explaining certain things, like, more on the regional rulers and how that kind of came to be. So, I already mentioned that they were... the royal family a long time ago. And at one point in time, pretty much the regional rulers wanted to gain more land, more power, and stuff like that. So the main continent pretty much became a war zone. Just was terrible. So wars would wage on for sometimes 75 years or more, depending on what they were fighting about. And it really, you know, it was not fun. So wars would wage for like up to 75 years. And the regions were controlled by 5 ruling families. So there were 5 different families which had split up the main continent, and they each held a section of land. After so many years of, you know, fighting, they had a strained kind of, you know, peace treaty, you know. But it was pretty, you know, sketchy. it was not a fun thing. So 4 out of the 5 rulers had like signed treaties, and that really didn't go very well. And the one that didn't really agree with the peace treaties had actually left the main continent, leaving their land pretty much to be divided up between the other regional rulers and, you know, be under their control. So that regional ruler completely left the main continent, went somewhere else. Nobody really knows where they went, but they came back 300 years later. Shit you not, 300 years later. Same person, comes back 300 years later. And they came back with finding that, you know, there was a great deal of tension still going on. It wasn't really peaceful. It was just... Imagine, you know, having treaties. Hello, Ink. I'm just kind of going over what I wasn't able to really touch on yesterday with my re-debut, and so I'm just kind of going over some history and stuff like that a little bit more in depth. So the borders were especially tense and stressed areas, and even though nobody was fighting, everybody was preparing for a war, which was not good. So when this other king came back to the main continent, it pretty much went with, well, this can't continue. And they had come back with greater forces and soldiers who were able to fight better and were considerably stronger. So he pretty much laid waste to all of, well, he didn't, like, kill everyone. He just took over the entire main continent. And, welcome, Steve. I'm just, explaining, the history of Furia and some other things because I didn't get to finish it yesterday for my re-debut. So, once he pretty much managed to make them surrender, they were all placed in dungeons. The children were put in power. I don't understand what you're asking. So, pretty much the children that were, very young were eventually put in power when, they came of age. And this is because too many of the adults were actually, not compliant, so they were eventually killed. And, it was just easier to pretty much teach children to take over certain places than it was to have an adult who was refusing to actually, sit in that seat. So they were just not dealt with anymore. Not only did this happen, but the titles of king and queen were completely stripped from all regional rulers, so no regional ruler could ever become king or queen again. The council was then set up, and people held seats within the council so that there could start to be a more balanced system. From there, it was then set up for the Arcanists, who were in fact in control of the schooling systems. So Arcanists were never actually a thing until this point. Well, congratulations, damn, that's a lot. So the Arcanists were not actually a thing for the kings and queens. That was a... So for slots, you put in slots and you put in a number. Oh, apparently you can just put it all. That is... Wow, that is not much. I don't know how much you had before, but you lost all but 10. Yeah. Damn. I think you had a lot more points than that. That is really unfortunate. You gotta do gems, not points. No Arcanist is royalty. So Arcanists are actually people who so Arcanists are actually people who are just normal people, and they went and studied for years and years to in fact have an abundant, like a great deal of knowledge within their specific elemental magic type. So Arcanists are not of the royal family. It's only the regional rulers. So it was sometime after this, and the king who had actually set it up had stepped down, that the shaman had actually been decided to give a seat, so to say, a seat of their own area. And this is in part because shaman were always extremely helpful to the kings and queens, or guards, or, you know, different people within different governmental positions, as well as even hospitals. Yes, I will be uploading these streams on my YouTube channel. These ones will actually specifically be on, so, what was I doing? I don't remember what I was saying. I got distracted. Yes? Yes? Right. So, the shamans were given positions which were to help the council, help regional rulers, and they're also generally in charge of... Thank you for the raid! Welcome, raiders! So, hello! Yay! So, hold on, I was distracted again. I gotta think of where I was. I know it was on shaman. Oh, shaman are generally in charge of, the hospitals. And so, they're advisors to regional rulers, to the council, sometimes to, the guards, and they generally, like, so they're very interlinked into the government and different areas of the government. They don't necessarily have just one place, and this is because their ability to see up to a couple minutes into the future at sporadic periods of time is extremely helpful. And it can help with a number of things, as I'm sure you can imagine. Why are you guys all hugs and attacks? Oh, okay. I'm confuzzled. So, that's actually how the shaman seat was actually set up. I don't know if I believe that. So, I think that's actually everything. I think I've gone through everything. Anybody got questions? This is like 2 days worth of stuff. because I think I touched on the language. And I went through everything. It took me so oh, actually I completely forgot. You're talking about the one second. I actually gotta find the channel with that. 1 second. There it is. So wait. That is not the word that I had said that you guys could translate. So now I'm a little confuzzled. Hold on 1 second. Alright, I gotta do a mass hug. Hold on. Oh. 1 sec, I gotta go. I wasn't gonna talk about races. So Alasawed is translated to dual soul, and dual soul is actually a subrace. And your subrace is generally figured out by the time you're 13. And this is because by then so this is essentially this would be considered the main mutation, and it's essentially pretty much like you have you have a fraternal twin, and you and your fraternal twin have merged on Earth. It's called chimerism amongst humans, but it's not called that in Furia. So this can affect people in a number of different ways with their mutations. It's usually considered a mutation that can be seen with other mutations because it's essentially two beings kind of merged in the womb. So yes, potentially anybody can be. Congratulations! So, they can change genders, or just pretty much flip between what they would have looked like at birth or what their twin would have looked like at birth and stay within the same gender. It is one being in control of the whole body. And so even though they can change the way that they look, they cannot change their magic type or anything like that. What they've been born with for their magic type is what they have. So even though they fused with their twin, they do not have the abilities that their twin may have had. So yes, anybody could be an Alasawed, but it's not necessarily the most common because, like I said, it's twins fusing together. It's one of those things. So, like, you could totally have that, but also have a lot of things like the, hold on. Like, for instance, the... no, that's not a subrace. The Namail, like, so, like, they're more of, like, a feline-esque subrace. So you could totally be, like, have that, but also have some characteristics of the Namail. But you'd be classified in Alliswed simply for the fact that you fused with your twin. So you would be classified as one or the other, not both. You're never classified as both. You might have a note stating that you have, you know, Namail characteristics, but your main mutation would be considered the Alliswed. So. Yeah. I hope that answered that question. Anybody else got questions? Any other questions? If not, I will be moving on to something else. So, have we leveled up? Feels like we've leveled up. So... holy shit, dude. You're fucking rich. Oh, you're right. That word hasn't been translated yet. I'm gonna first explain to Ducky. So I have explained the planet a number of times. So have fun. Let me know if you figure it out. Anyways, the planet itself is generally dark, so you don't have a blue sky. And the reason for this is because we don't have a sun, which in fact reflects, you know, certain things to make the sky blue. We don't have that. So instead, you're always seeing a night sky. Always. You never see anything other than a night sky. And the plants glow as well as the people. The majority of the animals also glow as well. And... one sec. There you go. So, wait, I think I sent the wrong one. Wait, I sent the wrong word. Hold on. I sent the wrong word. Hold on. I sent the wrong word. Give me a second. Let me actually send the correct word, because that was not right. There you go. Give you the correct word. All right. So pretty much our sun is the moon, which if I have in the history and information like that, I've even done a video on the history. So I'm not getting into that. Our moon is the sun. I'm not getting into that because I even explained it in my last stream yesterday about some things like that. So I've actually explained this several times over at this point. At this point, I might just start redirecting people to videos for certain historical things. I did not say that only the plants emit light. Ban user. Go away. So no, you're fine. The plants aren't all always green. They can range in a variety of different colors. Holy shit. Thank you again for the bits. I just saw, like, a mass of color. Okay, I had to turn the volume down so that I can continue explaining. So anyways, Furia has a variety of colored plants. Pretty much all of them glow. The people glow. The animals pretty much all of the animals glow unless they're stalking. They're stealth-based predators. You have crystals that glow. You have a lot of things that actually bioluminesce, and this is because within the history, it was needed that we had to figure out a way to fix the issue that was going to be that plants were going to start dying off in rapid succession because we pretty much just lost our sun. And so it was decided that the few earth mages that we had at the time were going to pretty much create plants and plant them throughout Furia that would essentially be the new replacement plants. So the plants that are in Furia are actually the ones that were planted 150,000 years ago so that we could continue to survive on our planet. So they are all pretty much magical plants. So Sal, have you given up yet? I think I answered Ducky's question fairly well. Or well enough. But yeah, no, at night, or our night, when we don't have the moon that's out, you'll actually just see a black hole. Okay. Okay, well, you're welcome. So Sal, you may want to mute so that you don't hear this because I'm going to explain what it is. Yes. Alright. So, Sole Garitinas is actually translated through the root words to dark or shade, and then the other word is root in reality or royalty. So essentially, this wasn't the original name to our planet. We changed it after we lost our sun. So this is actually the proper name with translation for Furia. We've pretty much translated... We gave you guys a simple translation to know. The real planet's name is much longer. So that was what I was going to, you know, tell all of you. So SalvadorShot is actually the planet's real true name. Furia is a version of it. Oh. Congratulations! So it pretty much could translate to Shade Realm, Dark Realm, Dark Royalty, Shade, and, you know, different variations that it could translate to between those 4 potential root words from Earth. So, if you were to call it... So, calling it the Shadowlands isn't necessarily the wrong English translation. Which is why I always say, welcome to the Shadowlands. It sounds so much better than saying, welcome to, the Dark Royalty, or the Dark Reality, or, you know, whatever. They're just root words that match up best to what you guys actually have. So it's, you know, these are the root words, and this is what it kind of matches up to. Doesn't necessarily mean that the meaning is quite exactly the same. But if you wanted to go through root words and translate it that way, that's actually what it means. Alright, Sal can come back. Anybody want to go and try and grab him? Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I didn't necessarily make things easy when I created it. Yes, I do plan to set up a D&D campaign at some point. Not sure exactly when that's going to happen, but I'm not going to use the races from Furia for it, simply because that would be a little too complicated for a lot of new people to D&D. I don't want to just bombard people with a bunch of stuff that they don't understand, more so than they're already going to get bombarded with. So... Actually, that reminds me, is Wifey still here? Because we still have to have an official wedding. That still hasn't happened. Yeah. Only been an hour. Well, I feel pretty accomplished. Any other questions, guys? Did I forget anything else? I think I got everything, right? Did I get everything? I think I covered everything. By the way, thank you again for reminding me. I actually totally forgot for a little bit about that. I feel bad. If there are no other questions, I'm gonna probably look for a game or something. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it does? You made exactly 1 gem more. Oh wait, no, you didn't use a gem. You didn't gain a gem. What? I see. You just went and did slots again. Without possibly winning anything. Interesting. Oh, excuse me. Yay! Oh. Well, either way, welcome back. Yeah, I already said what I needed to say, so, nobody spoil it for Sal. Let him try and figure it out. If he doesn't get it, I will just... Holy shit! Congratulations. Ugh. Holy crap. Ugh. Yes, it is already translated fully. So you're gonna have to go back and go through the whole translation. Let's see. So since there are no more questions, by the way, I did remove the Mr. Popcorn merch from the merch store. So now if you guys want to see Mr. Popcorn merch, you're gonna have to wait a whole year. But I will have other limited time stuff that will go up every month. So if you ever want to know what I toss up there, definitely look. Let me see. All right. Let me see. What can we do now? I'm gonna look. I did recently get a new game, and it's not October anymore, so I don't have to feel obligated to play spooky games. So, okay. I can't do a mass hug at someone. I can only do mass hug or, you know, just mass something. Like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to do anything. I can try, but I feel confident that it's not going to do what you want it. I feel like but it's... Okay, well, I did. It did? Well, damn. Was not expecting that, to be completely honest. Oh my. Feel like I should be a little concerned. I will send you the untranslated version. Because oh, I see. I don't really use stream avatars as much as I probably should. Like, I've delved into as much of it as I possibly can. Well, I didn't. I said I was gonna send you it, but you said not to, so I didn't send anything. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at a game. Let me look. You know, a game I haven't played in a while. Excuse me. Is you know, Sims Medieval and stuff like that. Should I? Nah, I woke up a little while ago. My body's just saying "fuck you" to me. Let me see. I don't really want to. You know what? You know what? We're gonna play my new game. Fuck it. I'm gonna start installing this shit, and we're gonna do the new game. We're gonna switch over to. So everything is fine. It's just something that came up. It was something that was originally unplanned, but this, yeah, it's a whole thing. So pretty much is that my boyfriend's father has the day off today, and we don't get to see them very often, and I don't want to keep my boyfriend from seeing his family, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I think it looks stupid. And don't worry, I will raid that person. Thank you for the recommendation. Tomorrow I will finish this, so there's that. I will I got distracted. I will continue this tomorrow. Yes, I will probably finish this tomorrow. So, hope you all will be there. I'm going to raid. So, yeah, I'm gonna raid them. Alright, no worries. Thank you for coming by. So anyways, hope you all have a wonderful day, night, whatever time it is for you guys. And you know, as always, sweet nightmares. Bye-bye.